Well, anyway, we got one coming in from Satsui. Dear Leroy Smith and Ginger Torbjorn,
I'll live with this.
in light of Terry's reveal and the subsequent announcement that there were even more characters on the way past the initial 6, I initially started seeing, I already started seeing the new quote unquote Smash poll chart involving Japan, the US, and the EU with their own top 10s.
Yeah, we mentioned this.
Yeah, in fact, I think they just went through the replies, right, and
Yeah.
just went through like how many people requested people.
Japan
in the
number one,
replies.
Lloyd from Tails. What the fuck?
It's funny that like this collection of data is based entirely on the most useless place that this request could be made.
That's correct.
It's like if I shout it out in a reply on Twitter, that's where they'll listen, right?
Well, I guess so, actually.
I mean, they did the character polls, but that was a while ago.
That was quite a while ago. It was before everything became possible.
It looks like your typical guest list for the current Twitter user: Doom Guy, Master Chief, Dante, and the like. But then on the EU and the US lists, Gino. I see him, the universal indicator of falsehoods. The second I laid eyes upon him, my mouth was flooded with the taste of lies and deception. I've been thinking about it. Does he actually have a chance? I can feel Pat saying no already. Considering Ridley, King K, and the newly resurrected Banjo and Kazooie, I feel there's a much larger realm of possibility for characters. However, it's likely not just Nintendo ones. My question is it better to reject all information that doesn't come straight from the horse's mouth, or is there some room for it? Best regards, Satsui.
All right, so I feel very strongly about this. Characters that get in as costumes can show up in the next game as full-fledged characters, but not again in the same game that they got costumes released
I've
for.
been saying that forever, that the rule has not yet been broken, where someone came in as a costume and then got turned into a real
I think
boy.
it is now very likely that Sans will be a proper, fully fledged fighter next time.
Let's call it hold that thought, because one, let's call it the Pinocchio rule.
Okay.
And two, the Pinocchio rule has never been broken.
All right.
Right? Three, when you say next time, you speak as if there's going to be a sequel to Smash Ultimate.
Of course there is.
You're... Okay. There is no possible way, in my opinion, you can follow up on this insanely... The whole point, the end game of Sakurai feeding you till you are full and crying is that when you decide, when Nintendo knows later on they're going to need more Smash in some way, shape, or form, it's not going to be trying to live up to what you just did. It's going to be probably, in my opinion, a new take, a reboot of some kind.
You're fucking crazy. That's absolute absurd bullshit.
You think they're just going to take Ultimate and just go Ultimate again?
Yeah.
And just add more?
Absolutely.
Wow.
That's what the whole series has become about. You're fucking nuts. If Nintendo was smart when they made those deals for Cloud and for Banjo and for so-and-so, those deals include whatever the fuck they had to do to get Snake in again, which is, this is a Smash character now.
No, this is a game with the name Ultimate. I think that word has a reason to exist. I think it's called Ultimate for a reason.
It doesn't matter.
I think this is the final...
It'll be called Smash Supreme. It does.
I think this is the final Smash as we know it.
You're fucking crazy.
I think Smash will continue. I don't think they're going to try to one-up this.
I remember you saying the exact same thing to me on the podcast about fucking Brawl. About Brawl.
I remember saying, where do you go from here?
And then you said it again for Smash for the Wii U. They can't just keep adding characters. They'll have to cut. They'll have to do a reboot. And then the Ultimate now has more characters added than any other game ever before. They're just going to keep adding them.
I don't think so. I think this one is coming in so hard and so fast and so over the top with its picks that there's likely going to be a break point once this is done. But I also think this is going to continue for a while.
I think
we're going to actually end up possibly skirting up against 100.
I think that the likelihood that what you're describing, some kind of reboot, is zero. I do, however, think the possibility that there isn't I'm going to use big air quotes, new Smash game for the next platform. That the Nintendo Switch Wii U or whatever comes out, and they just roll forward, hey, this is Smash Ultimate with all the DLC, and there's also 10 new DLC characters coming over the next 2 years.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was an announcement for Shin Smash or some sort of new, like, literally a, like, we're doing something else after Ultimate.
I feel like this is based off of actually nothing.
It
like your emotion here is based off of nothing. Smash is the most successful it has ever been, and they are going to reboot it because
it's based off of. It's a weird place to go with it, but it's based off of that MK Armageddon style. This is everything, and then we go somewhere else.
Yeah, but that
kind of moment.
That series had a bunch of reboots.
It could be.
MK4 was a reboot. 5 was a reboot.
Dude, it's a feeling I have looking at the fact that, like, I feel like this is called Ultimate. There's this character list is gonna go for a while. It's gonna build and build, and I think it's gonna hit a point where it becomes almost impossible to follow it up.
Ultimate Alliance has 3 games. What does the word matter?
In the context of Smash, I'm saying, in this case, it was like Smash Brawl, Smash Melee, Smash for Wii U. It is just a feeling, but I feel that, like, the amount we're looking at here is getting to a point where, like, it will be a very hard act to follow.
So,
and
I just realized what we're actually talking about.
Sure.
We're talking about Pokemon. It's the same thing. People have this argument for years and years and years and years and years, and now they are totally.
They did both.
That roster with.
They did add to Pokemon's roster, and then they did restart everything,
right?
And then,
but they've never gotten a reboot or a rething. They just removed half the roster.
But I mean, there was a point in the middle of the franchise where it was like, here's the new 150, fuck the old 200 or
yeah, sure, but like. You're talking about, like, a different type of game. Like, Smash is now a different thing.
Like, I think in the way that, like, I mean, Brawl is not the same engine that was... They didn't just build Smash 4 on top of what Brawl was, and Brawl was not just built on top of what Melee was.
No, but they're obviously the same type of game.
So there will be a future to this franchise. I just don't think it's going to be Ultimate forever, and then Ultimate Plus... in every other
no, it'll be
iteration.
Supreme.
I think, like, the idea that Smash in like gameplay form is stuck in this game mode because the amount of assets they've already made means they can never rebuild all of these from scratch.
No, they totally can. Smash makes $1 million shit-zillion. What are you talking about?
And then licensing, of course, is just complete nonsense from game to
Well,
game.
the licensing, they should have made deals that are like this. We can use this character in Smash. We can just use it.
Anyway, this is complete nonsense, baseless speculation. At the end of the day, it's just a feeling. But that's how I feel about it. I feel like Smash Ultimate feels like a significant moment in the franchise and chapter.
Like, I remember having this exact conversation on the podcast before Smash Ultimate even came out. And then it came out, and they're like, there's nowhere they can go. And then they added, like, now they're adding 10 DLC characters. And now there's nowhere they can go.
I have nowhere further to go with this conversation besides what I've already said. But to answer his question, I don't think the Pinocchio rule has been broken.
What are you talking about, Pinocchio? That's the one part I don't... Can you define that?
The Pinocchio rule, as in they come in as a costume,
okay,
and then they get turned into a real boy.
Oh, okay, that's why it's called Pinocchio. Okay.
If Sans gets turned into a real character in this world, or if Gino gets turned into a real character,
yeah, next time around.
But if if Gino gets turned into a real character in Ultimate, it's like he's already there.
It'll be in the sequel.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about what we're talking about in this email right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't think they'll ever break that Pinocchio rule.
I don't think that'll happen.
I think that's like a test bed. Hey,
Zero is in there as a
it'll be in next
costume. Then assist trophies as well have made the crossover.
Yeah, right? Shovel Knight will be in next time.
So, you know.
I'm going to start drawing up a fucking roster for Smash Ultimate 2 right now.
Bomberman never made it playable.
That's upsetting. Because Bomberman's the shit. Nobody cares, but Bomberman's great.
I will say this. If 10 years from now, like, Smash is just still Ultimate plus more, that'd be
a good goddamn title. let's go buy Super Smash Brothers Ultimate plus more.
That'd be pretty lame, I think, if it was literally just that forever, because again, at the very least, there's a moment of platform switch, like engine switch, recreate and start from scratch and build something else up. They could just be like, here it is again with all the 90 characters and a couple more. They could. That totally could be the case. It just doesn't seem likely to me.
I feel like that's what Smash 4 to Ultimate was.
It definitely. I think Smash 4, my entire narrative of like you're just getting everything is because it feels like every Smash up until now, there's been a kind of like they're still holding back on the big requests. There was still like walls up and you'd get a couple characters, but it feels like
I'm sure they're trying their best.
But it feels like with Ultimate, when they first like they dropped those inklings, and then all the floodgates came open, and everyone that was ever speculated or was mainly hoped for got scraped up and thrown in. Like Banjo-Kazooie is a specific ass choice that people wanted, that Xbox pushed, that got thrown in there. Like Ultimate represents we're listening to what everyone wants now.
Yeah.
So what happens when that hits its natural conclusion?
Goku.
Yeah, sure. But what happens when that happens? What happens after that?
Dick Clark.
I mean,
Jackie Gleason.
Like there's going to be a point where it's like, okay, the Switch is now ending as a console.
Yeah.
We're moving on to the next thing. You could just keep it going forever, I suppose. But I think Sakurai, knowing him and knowing how he's looking for a place to die, he's been looking for.
I don't think Sakurai's the be all end all for Smash. I think
he had the choice to not make Brawl because they announced it without telling him,
which is the funniest thing.
And
in the world.
He went, "Fuck you, you pieces of shit! I have to be on it."
Whether or not Sakurai's on it, Nintendo's going to keep making Smashes, as proven by the fact they'll announce the games without even talking to him.
And he will work himself sick every time, and they will not remove him.
And then he'll die.
Despite your demands that they remove him from the project, he won't
And
stop.
then he'll die, and then they'll prop his skeleton up in a chair with a GameCube controller in his hand.
Sakurai is looking for a tree to sit down under and close his eyes.
Well...
That's why I think this
Not
is
before I get Sora, motherfucker.
You will get Sora, but then he will sit down under that tree. That's why I think this is
one
the
more.
Final. I think that's why I say this is the final, why this is Ultimate. Because he is looking for a place to lay his fucking sword and just hold it and then fade to black and white. In that what's it called? Ashtano Joe.
Yeah.
That Ashtano Joe pose. Sakurai is waiting to look down and smile and just fade into black and white. Because that's it, man.
And then they'll move on past his memory and make a Master Chief playable.
It'll be Smash, but will it?
I was blown away to see Steve as number 5 on that US list.
Yeah, people really want Minecraft in there. In fact, I showed you that angry post.
Steve.
I hope we answered your question, buddy.